welcome to another edition of This Week in YouTube, the show that fights a woman, then crashes its car into a fire hydrant in a tree at 2:30 a.m. all the time. But you don't hear us making a federal case out of it. I'm Lon Harris.
And I'm Shira Lazar. Our top story this week, the ongoing saga of Tiger Woods' car accident continues to make headlines around the world.
外传伍兹和老婆当天为这事吵架，老婆抓伤伍兹的脸，他一气之下开车离家，老婆追出来，还用球杆猛敲车子，伍兹转头查看，一分神就发生这起撞车意外。
An excited Woods announced that he already has several dozen women lined up who want to date his avatar.
Boy, I know these new Pixar movies are getting a bit more grown up, but this may be too far.
Now, I don't want to upset you folks, but it's starting to look like Marilyn Monroe may have occasionally used drugs.
That, of course, was a scene from the classic film Gentlemen Prefer Bongs.
Even more shocking, video footage of Monroe doing lines of coke off JFK's naked ass. I mean, that doesn't actually exist, but you got to admit, that would be even more shocking.
You know, disclosing to your new community that you're a convicted sex offender sounds awkward, but it doesn't have to be.
State of Florida has asked us to disclose our sexual crimes to you. We were bad, but now we're good. We're moving into your neighborhood. We're obliged to admit the crimes for which we were convicted. We're not here to start no trouble. We're legally required to do the sex offender shuffle.
Oh, come on. That's not how you do the sex offender shuffle. Their timing's completely off, and that one guy totally botched the turn.
Yeah, I first learned to do the sex offender shuffle years ago, when it was still called the moonwalk. In the Dagobah system, first you get the training, then you get the farce, then you get the women.
Who put this thing together? Me!
Now Sosa thinks you're gonna take everything I ever had.
You wanna go to war? We'll take you to war, okay?
Thinks I'm just gonna lay down and die.
Interestingly, though C-3PO is trained in over 6 million forms of communication, even he has trouble understanding Al Pacino's Cuban accent.
Posters for the Scarface Star Wars mashup are already appearing on the walls of rapping nerds throughout the country.
Perhaps no 4 words strike more fear into the heart of a social media junkie than these. My mom's on Facebook.
Cause my mom's on Facebook, destroying all my privacy. My mom's on Facebook, always cock-blocking me. I think I've had enough. My mom's made me bitter, quitting Facebook, signing up for Twitter.
The only thing worse than finding out your mom's on Facebook? Finding out your mom's on the bang bus.
Even though this video is hilarious, and recreating it would almost assuredly make you a massive internet celebrity, on the caliber of 7-time Star Search viewer Shane Dawson, we'd ask you to please not try this at home.
Oh, I wouldn't worry about it. She clearly wasn't using the front part of her brain anyway.
Yeah, you have to look at the bright side. Thank goodness the basket didn't take a tumble when it was carrying something valuable, like dirty clothes.
Arrested Development stars Will Arnett and David Cross reunite in the pilot for the increasingly poor decisions of Todd Margaret.
Love this guy.
Todd Margaret, he's a temp. He has no skills international.
He's perfect. Hey, you wanted to see me? Hey, there he is. Todd, Brent Wills, Global National, just bought the company. Boy, do I have a proposition for you.
Mr. Wilkes,
Shut up, card.
With a 3.5-minute preview on YouTube, the show is already the 4th longest-running sitcom in English TV history.
Arnett and Cross's antics are an ideal fit for British audiences who find American stars like Bill Maher and Alec Baldwin just not quite smug enough.
Shay Carl, Kasim G, Lisa Nova, and a crew of dancers invaded Las Vegas's Planet Hollywood Casino over Thanksgiving weekend.
Wow, kind of makes you wish that what happened in Vegas really did stay in Vegas.
The shoot was part of a groundbreaking new restaging of the Ocean's 11 films featuring an all-dork cast. Fascinating.
What's the hot new trend among YouTube's cool kids? Why, making their own videos for Lady Gaga's Bad Romance, of course.
I want a minute. Joe Benderman.
Interestingly, unlike most homemade bad romance videos, this guy chose not to record over Gaga's original vocals.
In other news this week, Lady Gaga fell down during a performance in Montreal, Canada. Oh, that Lady Gaga. I could literally write jokes about her every week in an attempt to trick people into watching my videos.
Hey Lon, speaking of videos, did you hear who stopped by the Ellen show this week?
No, I didn't.
It's been a year since the first time you were on the show, right?
Yeah.
1 year. And look at you. You're huge in 1 year.
Not as big as Ellen. Gaga is reportedly a big fan of Ellen, so she was willing to suspend her standard policy of not appearing without a mask and some headgear in a cage at the bottom of a pool surrounded by tigers at midnight.
Portions of This Week in YouTube have been brought to you by Mentions of Lady Gaga. Yes, Mentions of Lady Gaga, funding YouTube channels via Google AdSense since the early part of 2009.
Well, that does it for This Week in YouTube. We'd like to thank our sponsor, Mentions of Lady Gaga, and remind you to rate and subscribe to our videos. For Lady Gaga and Lon Harris, I'm Shira Lazar, watching Lady Gaga videos on YouTube so you will in turn watch us and possibly click on advertisements. See you next time.